What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Sunday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me across all socials, and this podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. Promo code JUICE at checkout to get all the savings at OmahaSteaks.com. Okay, so I didn't think I was going to be able to do this podcast tonight because we are having some technical difficulties with my computer. So I think we're good with that. So that's why we're calling it on here. I mean, it's late on the East Coast. It's 1 a.m. on the East Coast. So I had to wait for my computer to get going and then come back here after going out and about. I was up in Portland, Maine with my family, and now back here in New Hampshire. So that's why the podcast is coming out pretty late. But what's fun is that 1 a.m. Pacific is 4 a.m. Eastern. It's still only 1 a.m. Eastern. So when this thing comes out, it won't be too late on the East Coast and still only 10 o'clock on the West Coast. So not that big of a deal. We'll take it. So another good day yesterday. We get the over right for the Celtics. Boston's up 3-0 now. Our bet for the Pacers to be winning 2 games is in serious jeopardy. Boston's 5-0 on the road this year in the playoffs. So game 4, probably bet the streak, bet the sweep for Boston coming up. And that was a big, plus 300 you could have taken with the Celtics to sweep. I didn't think they'd sweep, but huge win for the Celtics. But we get 1-1. Pritchard wrong, but we get points, rebounds, and assists right for Derek White. So that's good. By the way, funny thing. So remember I was making fun of what the BettingPros graphics department has done with the parlays. So I'm 1-7 for that. Well, this is gambling, right? Because I'm now 7-1 for the individual straight bet pick of the day from the BettingPros graphic department. So they just grab one bet that they like, and now it's on a 7-1 mark. So I don't know what bet they'll pick from this podcast, but 7-1 there, 1-7 on the other. That's gambling, okay? Right then and there. 8-8 record right there. What are we? Probably down the juice, which is why books are in business, right? 11 versus 10 built all of this stuff. So what are we doing today? Don't break it. Don't fix it if it's right there and right to go, okay? I know I was a little bit delirious yesterday. I apologize. I was working on 2 hours of sleep. I don't know what I was saying at the end of that podcast. I think at one point, actually, I fell asleep. Like literally, like with my eyes open, I fell asleep last day doing the podcast. But we went 3-1 under in baseball. We got that right. We get the total right going over for the Celtics game. We get 1-1 on the props. So that's good. So a 3-1 mark again for us here as we just continue to have really good weeks, a really good week here. So winning week. We should have a winning week regardless of what happens here today on a Sunday, but let's see if we can close the weekend out with a really strong Sunday. So it's 207.5. I don't know what the books are doing. Both games have gone over. Yes, this could be the under game, sure. But both games in Dallas this year in the regular season, Dallas was an under team at home. Okay, 100%. Dallas was an under team at home. But Minnesota's down 0-2. So they have to win this game. And you could bet Minnesota if you want, but I'm not betting Minnesota. We've seen what's going on in that series. The Dallas Mavericks look like the better team, right? So maybe Minnesota has a Herculean effort. Maybe they're just tremendous tonight. But I'm just going to bet the over. I mean, over 207.5. It could miss, but I mean, I think both teams score in the hundreds like usual. I think both teams score a lot, and you know, the books just keep on saying, "Oh, we're close. Oh, we're close." This is the game. This is the game that goes right. This is the zigzag theory. So Timberwolves win, and the under comes in. Okay, you can do that, but I'm just going to keep betting until I'm wrong. Over 207.5 for Minnesota and Dallas. It was up to as high as 208.5. It's been bet down at 207.5. I'm taking the over 207.5. And we're going to throw 2 player props at you here for this game. And we're going to go right back to Naz Reid, who has been a tremendous player in this series. He led the Timberwolves in scoring in the last game. His points, rebounds, and assists at DraftKings is over 17.5 is even money. Like, even money for Naz Reid. He scored 23 points alone in game 2. He was unguardable. He went over on his points in game number 1, went over points, rebounds, and assists, and went over on his points in game number 2. Just keep on betting it. Over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Even money, half a unit down on Naz Reid to go over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists in this game here against the Dallas Mavericks. And Jaden McDaniels, where did he go? I mean, Jaden McDaniels was absolutely tremendous in the series against Denver. Scored 21 in game number 6, scored 23 in game number 7, scored 24 points in game number 1, and then scored 2 points in game 2. His points is back to 9.5 I think he has a bigger game here. If we're going to see the Timberwolves win, we got to like some of these Timberwolves props to go over just straight from the role players to score and be a bigger part of the offense. Jaden McDaniels is minus 115 over 9.5 points for Jaden McDaniels. Let's get back into it. Let's see if we can have, a 21, 23, 24-point effort, and maybe the Timberwolves win the game and win game 3. But Jaden McDaniels over 9.5 points at minus 115. Okay, so if I like the over and I like 2 Timberwolves props, you can bet Minnesota to win the game. I don't hate it. I think they probably do win game 3. They have to win game 3. Otherwise, the series is pretty much over. But I'm going to stay away from it because it's been a difficult series to predict in terms of who's going to win. Just take the over 207.5, over Naz Reid, 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and over 9.5 with Jaden McDaniels. At FanDuel, we can go, and it is Ranger Suarez day. It's actually not that expensive. Some books have already gone to 2.5 for the run line for the Phillies at the Rockies. You can bet team total if you want here in this game, and I actually don't hate a team total bet at all, but we missed on that in game number 1 of this series. It's 5.5 at minus 128, which is the same price as the run line. So Ranger Suarez this season, 5-4, 5-2, 5-1, 5-0, 7-0, 5-1, 14-3, 8-2, 10-5, and 5-2. Those are all wins for Ranger Suarez. He has not lost a start. In fact, he's 9-0 with a 1.36 ERA. Yes, the offense might get going here, but every game except the opening game has been won on the run line by Ranger Suarez. Again, a bet. If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's not expensive. It's minus 128. I hate laying juice on the run line unless it's against a team like the Rockies, where Ranger Suarez back on the 16th of April went a complete game, 7-hit shutout against these very Rockies. It was in Philadelphia, but we're turning around and going in Colorado. He's already dominated. This team has already dominated many teams here so far in Major League Baseball. Ranger Suarez day, run line, minus 128. Yeah, it's laying juice. No, I don't like it, but we're going to do it because it's the Phillies on the road up against the Rockies, and Ranger Suarez has been so good. Last time out, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 10 Ks in a 5-2 win over Texas. That was late. They had to come back for that, but 10-5 win over the Mets. Went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 0 earned runs. A 8-2 win against the Miami Marlins in his last road start. 7 innings, no earned runs, 3 hits there, and 9 Ks for Ranger Suarez. Minus 128, run line. Ranger Suarez and the Phillies laying the 1.5 runs on Colorado here for 1.28 units. All right, so we're going here with 4 bets again. Over 207.5 in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Naz Reid over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Over 9.5 points for Jaden McDaniels. And the run line for the Phillies at the Colorado Rockies at minus 128. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.